AOC plus 3. You know AOC? Not a good student, not good at anything, but she's got a good line of crap, I'll tell you that. How about Omar of Minnesota? We're going to win the state of Minnesota because of her, they say. She's telling us how to run our country. How did you do where you came from? How is your country doing? She's going to tell us, she's telling us how to run our country. And you know what? The Democrats in Congress, you have to see what they're doing. Their stance on Israel, it's like a whole different world. It's like from 10 years ago, it's like a different world. And we want to keep our world the way it was and the way it's going to be. We've got the greatest country on earth, and we're going to keep it that way. We don't need socialists, and we don't need communists telling us how to run our country.
She's telling us how to run our country. Our country. She's an American citizen. She was a refugee from Somalia. She came here seeking asylum at the age of 12 and became an American citizen before she turned 18 at 17 years old. Where do you come from, Trump? You come from having a gold spoon shoved up your ass, and you've had everything handed to you your entire life. What does that do to your perspective on America? Because right now, you're basically looting the entire country for your own ends and your own narcissistic self-aggrandizement and enriching of your businesses. So that's where you come from and what you bring to your governance. What does she bring? Oh, wow, experiences from around the globe. How dare she? The amount of racism that he stokes against Ilhan Omar specifically is one of the most disturbing things I see in politics on a daily basis. Just go to her Twitter and read her mentions. She gets death threats on the regular. She gets death threats from her colleagues. And this is somehow allowed because she's a Muslim woman and she's from a different country and she's black. It's the trifecta for all the Trump supporters to get them to hate her. And by the way, Republicans, they want to talk about how they love bootstraps. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and make something of your life. They're going after AOC. Oh, she's a bartender. She's only a bartender. No, now she's a congresswoman. She worked hard while she was in college. Trump saying she's not a good student. Please. It's the stupidest thing ever. He can just repeat it. Trump won't release his own grades. It's all projection. She graduated cum laude from BU. That's objectively a good student. But Trump threatened to sue his university and high school from releasing his grades. I wonder why he keeps repeating the good student thing. But I digress. They say they want people to achieve their dreams and work really hard. Ilhan Omar was a refugee who is now a congresswoman. AOC was a bartender part-time to help her family after her father died. And now she's a congresswoman. That's what you say you want the American dream to be. But it's not that. I could hypocrisy shame them all day. Ilhan Omar did respond to Donald Trump's extreme racist riling up of his base on Twitter. Omar, who has been an American citizen for 2 decades, slammed Trump in a tweet. Firstly, this is my country and I am a member of the House that impeached you, Omar wrote. Awesome. Secondly, I fled civil war when I was 8. An 8-year-old doesn't run a country even though you run our country like one. A year ago, Trump smiled as supporters chanted "send her back" during one of his attacks on Omar and other lawmakers of color. Omar said Trump's lies were putting her life at risk. Trump's campaign aides are putting a heavy emphasis on Omar's home state of Minnesota, which Trump narrowly lost to Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. Biden is leading Trump by 10.2 points in Minnesota, according to the average of recent polls compiled by the Real Clear Politics website. But yeah, he can just repeat that he's going to win Minnesota in his campaign rallies because there's no consequences for his lies. In fact, he's actually reinforced by lying because whatever he says, he gets his supporters to believe, like the mass voter fraud that he claims is going to happen, which isn't a reality. And then he's rewarded by it because Republicans will respond in kind and his supporters will respond in kind and push the narrative that he wants to the fore, even if there's no basis in reality. And then it will be a debate. Wow, is there mass voter fraud in the United States via these mail-in ballots? Let's discuss. One side says this, the other side says this. Thank you, media. He gets positive reinforcement for everything he does in this realm. It's mind-boggling. And there he is, getting cheers for his vile xenophobia and racism. His supporters love it, eat it up. How do you tell a person to stop engaging in vile behavior, a person with the personality disorder that Donald Trump has, of narcissism and just complete disconnection from reality? How do you convince that person to stop engaging in behaviors that constantly help them out and benefit them? You can't. You just have to beat him handily and send him the hell home.